back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to be talking about the Mark IV Supra. You might be asking me, Adrian, why are you talking about the Mark IV Supra when you've already talked so much about it? Now, I haven't told you all about it, not everything. This is why I made this video. So I hope you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's get into the video. First, the Mark IV Supra has, of course, the 2JZ. It was twin-turboed with 320 horsepower. You can get it in a 6-speed manual. Now, there's also another version called the NA version, which means, and NA means naturally aspirated, which also means it doesn't have no turbo and no supercharger. So the NA version still had the 2JZ, it just didn't have the turbo. So it did make less than 300 horsepower. So, yeah, it didn't make 320 horsepower, it made less. But you can also pick the NA version for less than the Toyota Supra, the turboed one, twin turboed. The Toyota Supra is also came with a rear-wheel drive drivetrain, and the Toyota Supra Mark IV was a car that everybody loves and a car that they made a meme about. If you go check my video of the Mark IV Supra is overrated, you should go check that video out. I still like the Supra, but it's just kind of overrated. And I also featured in that video, I said that there's this meme called is that a Supra? Now that's completely overrated and overused. So let's just say that we'll just slide it away for a bit. Now let's look on the good sides of the Mark IV Supra. It's reliable, dependable, and you can use it for many things. You can use it as a daily driver, a drag car, which some people do, and you don't really see drift cars of the Mark IV Supra. And yeah, and if you heard of Red Dan, the guy that owns a Mark IV Supra, and he drifts around, and he went from grassroots to more pro drift cars. Yep, man, that thing is a beast. I mean, so the Mark IV Supra also has some older brothers, the Mark III Supra, and the Mark II Supra, and the Mark I Supra. Those are all pretty good cars, I have to say. And you know, the 2JZ coming out of that Mark IV Supra, people intend to confuse it with the 1JZ coming out of the Chaser and the JZX100. Now, 2JZ makes more power than the 1JZ, I think. And the 2JZ, of course, they're both 6 cylinders. But here's something to not confuse you with the 2JZ and the 1JZ. Now, you might see a Toyota Supra and some non-car guy would say, oh, is that a 1JZ? Don't get confused, because the Mark IV Supra, remember, has the 2JZ. The Chaser JZX100 has, and the JZX100 has the 1JZ. So, the Mark IV Toyota Supra also had the big wing. If the big wing, you know, the nice smooth big wing. If you get the twin turbo version, but the NA you don't get the spoiler, because the spoiler is for downforce. And downforce is for more grip, because you have 320 horsepower, so you need a big wing. You need a good wing to give you more grip and more downforce. So yeah, and it did get sold in automatics. It was, and the NA version of the Mark Mark IV Supra had a five-speed manual transmission, and like I said, the Mark IV Supra with the twin turbos had a six-speed manual transmission. Now you can also get those two cars, of course, in automatics if you want, but in my opinion, you shouldn't have got the manual. But yeah, so the Mark IV Supra is a phenomenal car in many ways. I mean, it's reliable, dependable, and of course, you know it's reliable because it's made by Toyota, and you know Toyota makes very reliable cars. And you know, the Mark IV Toyota Supra has some features which is actually pretty impressive for back then. So number one, the car produced 320 horsepower, which is impressive for a car from back 1998 to 2002. Two, it has some electronics that I've seen in many YouTube videos that are kind of impressive for a car from 1998 to 2002. It's beautiful. I mean, you have to say it's impressive to have that much of a tech in a Toyota Supra. Now, if you've noticed, the Toyota Supra that with the twin turbo and the Toyota Supra without the turbo have different steering wheels. Just wanted to point that out. The NA version has a three-spoke steering wheel, and the Mark IV Supra has a four-spoke steering wheel. Yeah, they're both beautiful cars. Yeah, and you know they're not pretty good daily drivers for the high schoolers and guys. I know car enthusiasts, but some good. I'll make a video of some few good, a few good first first cars. I'll make a video on that. And Toyota Supra is not really a good first car, but it's a good drag car, drift car, and tuner, and just hangout car, I guess. And if you get the right modifications on the Mark IV Supra, you can get it up to 700, 800, 500 horsepower, whatever you want to make the right if you make the right modifications. Now, people intend to also put the 2JZ engine in other cars, like the 240SX, the 240SX, S13, S14, and S15. You don't really see 350Z's 2JZ, but 2JZ swapped, but people actually do it. You can also, other people see Mark III, you can also see other people maybe swap in a 2JZ and a Miata or an RX-7. I don't know who would do that, but I would keep the rotary. I know it's unreliable, well, yeah. But yeah, so that's all the things on the Mark IV Toyota Supra that everybody loves around the world if you're a car enthusiast. Anyways, I hope you liked the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Have a good day. Bye!